about it themselves.
You know, there's people who've been told you really should think about doing something with your hair at work. You can't do the interview like that. So these sorts of things you're internalized little by little over time. And our hope is that you come here and understand that you are beautiful, you are amazing, and this is who you are.
There's something really healing about coming to this space, and it silences some of those questions. Can I show up to the interview with my fro out? Are they going to let my work speak for me, or is it about how I look?
Curl Fest, with thousands of black women from coast to coast, has been going on for several years now. It's needed because not only do we embrace the culture and beauty of black women, we live in a country that has still not passed a law to protect black women, and black men, for that matter, from wearing natural hair in braids, locks, cornrows, afros, shaved, or any other way that is different from what white culture typically embraces.
This is my first Curl Fest, so it's a fantastic experience.
There's so many freaking beautiful people. And the beautiful black people. I'm all for black excellence.
Even though several cities and states have now passed their own version of the Crown Act, Curl Fest exists regardless. Owned by black women, the event is designed to empower black women of every hue, shape, and size. It's where black beauty is redefined. This year, Curl Fest is taking place Saturday, July 15th on Randall's Island, New York. I'm Bree Wood on the Black Information Network.
The Bay Area's BIN 910 is powered in partnership with Direct Relief and Chevron. Thank you for partnering with a purpose on the Black Information Network.
Giving rise to hip-hop and R&B artists like Heavy D and the Boys, Bobby MC, and Mary J. Blige. Acting as an incubator for the careers of Sean Puffy Combs and Teddy Riley. Uptown Records was founded in 1986 by artist and former Def Jam executive Andre Harrell. Considered one of the chief architects of New Jack Swing, Harrell would leverage the success of Uptown Records into a movie deal and a television series, an MTV Unplugged album, and home video. Transcending its status as a label, Uptown would become a movie. Harrell would leave Uptown in 1995 to become CEO of Motown Records. Suddenly passing on May 8th, Andre and Uptown Record Story will be captured in an upcoming BET miniseries. Deemed alone for the Black Information Network.
I'm Doug Davis, and here's the latest from the Black Information Network. A black man is being charged in a Philadelphia mass shooting that left 5 people dead. The shooting happened Monday night when 40-year-old Kim Brady Carricker randomly opened fire on people across several blocks of the city. In total, 5 people ranging in age from 15 to 59 were killed. Wisconsin Governor Tony Evers is making what he calls substantial line item vetoes to the new state budget. He signed the budget today, but is making several changes at the same time. The changes keep the 188 diversity, equity, and inclusion positions at the University of Wisconsin. Former New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio is separating from his black wife, Shirlene McCray. In a New York Times article, the couple said they're splitting up and will be dating other people, but will still be living in the same Park Slope, Brooklyn home. And that is the latest. I'm Doug Davis from the Black Information Network and BINnews.com.
I'm Terry McCready.
And I'm Kevin Brown on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network.
Questions are raised over whether a George Floyd moment unfolded in France. This comes after a 17-year-old boy of Algerian and Moroccan descent was shot and killed last week by a police officer while trying to flee a traffic stop in a Paris suburb. The encounter sparked riots across French cities with hundreds of cars and buildings set on fire and massive destruction of schools, government buildings, and police stations. Unrest appeared to have eased after several days, and French President Emmanuel Macron met with the mayors of over 220 municipalities to discuss concerns over the incident.
The IRS is warning about a new scam. Taxpayers receiving a letter in a cardboard envelope to mislead people into believing they're owed a refund. The agency said there's an IRS masthead on the letter, along with a notice claiming to be in relation to your unclaimed refund. It includes contact information that's not an IRS number. Recipients are asked to share driver's license images and a social security number, along with a cell phone and bank routing numbers, which the IRS says may all be used to commit identity theft.
The United Nations says the world should prepare for the effects of El Nino, the weather phenomenon which, like higher global temperatures, is expected to continue throughout the year. The climate pattern is generally linked to increased heat globally, as well as drought and heavy rains in some areas. The World Meteorological Organization says the warning is a signal for governments to initiate preparedness affecting health, ecosystems, and our economies.
King Willem-Alexander of the Netherlands has issued a formal apology for his country's role in the slave trade. The monarch ascended to the throne in 2013 and made remarks over the weekend during a speech in Amsterdam at an annual commemoration of the abolition of slavery in Suriname and the Netherlands' Caribbean colonies. The event also marked the start of a memorial year that celebrates the 150th anniversary of the end of slavery there. It was officially abolished in 1863 in the Dutch colonies, including Suriname and the Dutch Caribbean islands like Curaçao and Aruba, among others.
South Sudanese President Salva Kiir is promising that postponed elections are now scheduled for next year and confirms he's running for president.
Kiir has been the region's only president since he led the country to independence from Sudan in 2011. After a transition period, elections were due to be held last February, but the government failed to meet some major issues of the agreement between the president and vice president. About 400,000 people died during a 5-year civil war until Kiir and Vice President Riek Machar signed a peace agreement in 2018. The UN Special Envoy to South Sudan warned back in March that it was time for South Sudan to hold inclusive and credible elections in 2024. I'm Mike Island on the Black Information Network.
For more on these stories and international, national, state, and local news affecting the Black community, listen to the Black Information Network on the iHeartRadio app or log on to BINnews.com. I'm Terry McCready along with Kevin Brown on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network.
Time now for traffic and weather.
On the Bay Area's BIN 910.
Want to take a look at the East Bay this time around, starting on eastbound 80. We see traffic slowing down right at the Bays, and that heavy pattern is going to stick with you up to Gilman. You get a little bit of a break, only to slow down again at Potrero, and that sluggish pattern is going to run you out to McDonald. Also in Vallejo, eastbound 80, we're beginning to see a slowdown right at Magazine Street. That's going to carry you up to Springs Road. And then more slow traffic on eastbound 80 as you make your way through Fairfield. That's going to tighten up on you at Travis Boulevard. That'll carry you out past North Texas Street. Also seeing sluggish traffic on eastbound 580 heading out of Castro Valley. That tightens up on you just past Eden Canyon Road, and that's going to run you out to Santa Rita Road. We'll look at your Bay Area weather. Clear skies overnight, lows in the 50s. With Bay Area traffic and weather, I'm Ricky Batiste on the Black Information Network.
When you need to know.
This is where Black news comes first. The Bay Area's BIN 910.
I'm Amy Brown in for Natasha Williams on your home for 24/7 News, San Francisco's BIN 910. California is among 9 states that had already banned affirmative action in college admissions prior to last week's Supreme Court ruling. Speaking on CBS Face the Nation, University of California President Dr. Michael Drake says he doesn't know the effect the High Court's ruling will have. Drake says there was a profound effect when California banned affirmative action during the 1990s. Drake says the ban lifted how many students were admitted into California schools. And San Francisco schools are facing more challenges ahead of the new academic year. The San Francisco Chronicle says officials are hoping to avoid a, quote, vicious cycle of cuts amid budget restrictions as well as a decline in student enrollment. The district has lost about 5,000 students in the past 5 years because of the pandemic as well as other factors. Teachers could still go on strike in the coming months, according to their unions. And in California, daycare can cost more than college. The state is on the list for the top 10 most expensive places for childcare. Costs range from $11,000 to $13,000 a year. Tuition and fees at Sacramento State average about $7,500 a year. Child costs in the U.S. have jumped 220% since 1990, forcing some parents to quit or be fired from their jobs. That's the latest. I'm Mimi Brown on your home for 24/7 News, San Francisco's BIN 910. Now here's a look at another Black festival or historically Black beach you may want to check out.
Those are some of the sounds from back in the day when one particular Black beach flourished. In a documentary done by Black resident John Skeeters, the Black former mayor talks about the Black resort area of Atlantic Beach, South Carolina, in its heyday.
And the town was very prosperous during those years. We had people coming. You could see people on the beach every day.
It became one of the most popular vacation destinations for Blacks on the East Coast, from Virginia to Florida, right next door to Myrtle Beach, where because of segregation, Black people were not allowed to go.
There was a lot of businesses here. We had a lot of businesses here on the beach. You couldn't hardly walk the street. It was a dirt road. It wasn't paved, and you couldn't hardly walk because there were so many people. It was so crowded and stuff.
In the 1950s, Black stars like Jackie Wilson, the Four Tops, The Temptations, and so many others were all playing in the white areas nearby, but again, because of segregation, they had to stay and eat in Atlantic Beach, which was jam-packed with African Americans who loved to mingle with these great entertainers. Also known as the Black Pearl, Atlantic Beach was one of the last Black beaches to incorporate itself. It continued to do well until the early 70s. What happened? Why is it not like it used to be today? Well, when segregation ended, Blacks who lived there or vacationed there were now free to go to any beach in America they wanted to. And they did. I'm Mike Stevens on the Black Information Network.
Telling our stories is more important than ever, and the NABJ is committed to training and supporting Black journalists, media professionals, journalism students, and educators. Learn more at nabj.org. The power of information.
Black news here and now.
Bay Area's BIN 910.
A special thank you to CVS Pharmacy.
A proud founding partner who shares and supports the mission of the Black Information Network. Join the Rainbow Push Coalition, Citizenship Education Fund, and Push Excel for its annual international convention, July 15th through the 19th. This year's theme is a perilous journey from freedom to equality. The convention features many distinguished session speakers on topics of educational equity and shaping public policy at the state and federal levels of government. Register at rainbowpush.org. That's rainbowpush.org. iHeartRadio goes one-on-one with John Legend to find out which artist in music today inspires him most.
I'm a big fan of Frank Ocean's album, Channel Orange. I think it's a beautiful album, and it was inspiring as an artist to see someone with that level of creativity and virtuosity when it comes to the lyrics and his writing ability. I just felt like that was an inspiring album for me. It's just exciting to see him work with another artist.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more of John Legend and all your favorite artists. News 4 3 San Antonio police officers have been charged with murder after fatally shooting a woman experiencing a mental health crisis.
News by us.
The next head of the New York FBI office will be a Black man.
Because no one can tell our story like us.
This Captain Carroll speaks a different language. It speaks the language of accomplishment.
When you need to know.
Trust the Black Information Network.
The Bay Area's BIN 910 and on the iHeartRadio app.
Someday, you might be with friends in the Bay Area, telling the story of how you navigated these complex times. The market was all over the place, so you reached out to American Advisor, and with their help, charged ahead. And unlike your fishing stories, you won't have to go overboard. Find an advisor at ml.com/bookish.
Now, a Bank of America company will you have the power to do. Investing involves risk. Merrill Lynch, Pierce, Fenner & Smith, Incorporated, registered. We do not register investment advisor, member IPC, wholly owned subsidiary of Bank of America.
A special thank you to Geico.
A proud founding partner who shares and supports the mission of the Black Information Network. The NABJ 2023 Convention and Career Fair From Revolution to Evolution is happening in Birmingham, August 2nd through the 6th, and features the nation's top journalists, media
executives and educators. Visit nabjonline.org for more information.
Because news can happen anywhere, anytime. The Black Information Network hotline is available to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week at 855-500-9BIN. I'm Bree Wood with the Black Information Network, speaking with Lionel Bradford, president at the Greening of Detroit. This conversation is made possible by a partnership with Bank of America, which supports local nonprofits like Greening of Detroit to renew urban forestry while opening doors to new jobs. In many low-income and underserved neighborhoods, tree coverage is increasingly in danger. Tell us why you think this is.
It's for a number of reasons. A lot of disinvestment, disease, urbanization, you name it. And so it's important that organizations like the Greening of Detroit exist and that we're out here trying to rebuild the tree canopy within cities so that folks in the city can have the same benefits. I'm talking environmental benefits, economic benefits, and social benefits that trees provide.
Tell us more about the Greening of Detroit and what it offers to the community.
Well, the Greening of Detroit, we're a local nonprofit here in Detroit. We work strictly as a tree planting organization, a reforestation organization, but we've managed to remarkably use the tree as a tool to do so many other things, one of which is workforce development. It's huge here in Detroit in terms of training adults who have barriers to employment and providing second chances to be a part of the job market and create economic stability.
How does the Greening of Detroit advance equality and improve the health of Detroit?
Our goal is plant more trees, get more trees in the ground, and increase the tree canopy here because of all the benefits, not just from an environmental benefit, but a public health standpoint. Some portions of Detroit have the highest rates of asthma because of the pollution, and those are the areas that we're focusing on. Just this year, we're going to put 1,000 trees in Southwest Detroit, and we know what trees can do in terms of the air that you breathe, the water that you drink. Those are the goals of the organization.
That's great to hear, Lionel. If you want to learn more about the Greening of Detroit, head to www.greeningofdetroit.com.
The power of information.
Black news here and now.
The Bay Area's BIN 910.
I'm Doug Davis, and here's what's trending. Travelers continue to see issues at airports as people start to head home after the 4th of July holiday. FlightAware reports there have been more than 2,100 flights delayed, and that's what's trending from the Black Information Network.
Sports on the Black Information Network.
A ticket stub from the night Los Angeles Lakers superstar LeBron James made NBA scoring history could fetch thousands of dollars in auction. The $92 second row ticket to the game, during which James surpassed Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's all-time NBA scoring record, is already up for bid online. As of Wednesday morning, one bidder was willing to pay more than $2,000 for the ticket. According to Heritage Auctions, with this pace, when the hammer falls on the final bid next week, the ticket could go for more than $5,000. Elsewhere in the NBA, the Boston Celtics are making a big decision on a couple of key players. The Athletic reports Boston is expected to move restricted free agent forward Grant Williams and is hoping to receive a first-round pick in return. Atlanta, Charlotte, Dallas, New York, and Washington appear to be among the teams still in the mix. The Celtics are also expected to address the future of guard Jaylen Brown. The 2016 third overall pick is set to become an unrestricted free agent after the 2023-24 season. And an impressive Mizzou recruiting class is getting even better. The Tigers football program got commit from a pair of four-star recruits recently. Wide receiver James Madison II and cornerback Cameron Keys both used their 4th of July holiday to announce their commitment to Missouri. Madison chose Missouri over the likes of Alabama, Georgia, and Michigan, while Keys held offers from Kentucky, Vanderbilt, and Arkansas. Sports at 14 and 44 minutes past each hour. I'm Morgan Wood on the Black Information Network.
A special thank you to Sony,
a proud founding partner who shares and supports the mission of the Black Information Network.
In 1949, station WDIA in Memphis, Tennessee became the first to employ an all-black on-air announcing staff, broadcasting blues, gospel, and various talk programs. Acquiring the right to broadcast at a higher wattage, the station boosted their signal from 250 to 50,000 watts and was now capable of reaching as far north as Missouri and as far south as the Gulf Coast. That range included about 10% of the black population of the United States, which in turn garnered substantial advertising revenue
itself the moniker the Mother Station of Negroes. It also earned the nickname the Goodwill Station because it broadcast public service bulletins. Later that year, WERD in Atlanta began broadcasting as the first black-owned radio station. Powerful AM stations such as WLAC in Nashville began broadcasting black-oriented news and rhythm and blues music across entire regions of the United States, drawing both black and white audiences. And that's a fact. I'm being too on Black Information Network.
Entertainment news on the Black Information Network.
Comedian and actress Tiffany Haddish is adding rapper to her resume.
I want to share this song with y'all. It ain't now good.
This comes as the 43-year-old performed on stage with Lil Jon and E40 for the 2023 Impact Awards at Hollywood Unlocked. The two songs she performed are set to be released later this summer. Meanwhile, R&B singer Neo is putting fans in their place if they get too eager with him while he's on stage. During a recent performance at the Hot in Here Festival in Toronto, a fan on stage took his trademark fedora off his head. He then booted the fan off stage and continued the show. Neo responded to an Instagram post showing a video of the moment with laughing emojis in the comments. And Steve Harvey is celebrating 16 years of marriage to his wife, Marjorie. He posted a compilation video of the couple on social media with a caption that read, "Still going strong." Marjorie also marked the occasion with her own video of the couple with a caption that read, "Anniversary time with the love of my life." With the latest in entertainment at 17 and 47 minutes past each hour, I'm Morgan Wood on the Black Information Network.
Time now for traffic and weather.
On the Bay Area's BIN 910.
Let's take a look at your ride on the Bay Bridge, westbound 80. Actually looking good heading across the upper deck. You won't slow down until you get to 5th Street. From there, it's going to be tight out to 101. Northbound 101 continues to slow down at Cesar Chavez, and that slow pattern is going to carry you up to the Central Freeway. Now, if you're heading out to the lower deck of the Bay Bridge, eastbound 80 is going to be heavy from 101 out to the island. Then you're going to slow down again at the Maze, and from there, you're going to be slow in stretches up to Pinot Valley Road. Also beginning to see a little bit of a slowdown on the Nimitz Freeway in Oakland. Southbound 880 slows just past the 980 merge. That's going to carry you out to Embarcadero. A look at your Bay Area weather. We'll have clear skies tonight. Lows going to be dropping into the 50s. Going to be sunny and warm again tomorrow. Highs in the 70s and 80s. With Bay Area traffic and weather, I'm Ricky Batiste on the Black Information Network.
News all day, every day.
The power of information.
I'm John Marshall.
And I'm Terry McCready on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network.
Some Americans, particularly younger individuals, are reconsidering their participation in 4th of July celebrations due to a variety of reasons. According to the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, factors such as concerns over gun violence, environmental impact of fireworks, political disagreements, and a sense that the holiday is not inclusive for everyone have led individuals to opt out or feel ambivalent about celebrating Independence Day. Some are choosing alternative activities or traveling abroad instead. Despite this, traditional 4th of July festivities continue for those who still find value in the holiday.
Nearly 1 in 4 Americans were not infected by COVID by the end of last year. That according to a new CDC estimate. The agency estimated about 77% of people in the U.S. had antibodies from an infection of the virus. Younger people between 16 and 29 had the highest percentage of natural antibodies at just over 87%, decreasing across older groups. Meanwhile, nearly all people at close to 97% had some form of COVID antibodies due to vaccinations or infections.
For more international, national, state, and local news impacting the Black community, listen to the Black Information Network on the iHeartRadio app or log on to BINnews.com. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at Black Information Network and on Twitter at BlackInfoNet. I'm John Marshall along with Terry McCready on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network. And the Black Information Network's Vanessa Tyler takes a look at another festival you may want to check out.
I'm Vanessa Tyler. Old school music makes you feel so good.
swing and remembering back when.
You might not find, if you displace your keys, he's like, where's my keys? You could have just had them, but you know those lyrics from the 70s and 80s.
Vanessa Jordan, president and CEO of the R&B Music Society, is behind one of the best summer concerts going in Atlantic City at Gardner's Basin. It's a total party and totally free. The headliners for this show, GQ.